Hey, aloha. Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. Tom Gaddis here and Nick Ponte. It is launch day. We officially launched Professional Services Payday today. We have a great live show. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do some shout outs. We're going to do an incredible, I'm so excited to do the member of the week today because the story behind it is just so amazing. Like it warms my heart, gets me fired up. It's awesome. So we're going to do that. We've got a special guest today. We have Jason on the call who did the training videos for Professional Services Payday, and he's one of our business experts inside Remote Millionaires, helping people out in there as well. So super sharp guy. We're going to take questions. We're going to talk about local marketing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have to admit, his videos for the course were better than the ones I do.
Yeah.
I was like, man, making me look bad.
He puts us to shame. He puts us to shame.
I know. It's like twisting the screws. Gotta level up my game. Well, awesome.
I mean,
I
was going to say the content is always there. It's all top notch, but the polishedness of what he's got is we can't compete with that.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Well, look, wherever you're at, grab a cool drink, get in a comfortable chair, turn up the volume. We'll see you right back here after this brief introduction.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh, yeah. Fired up for launch day.
Out of control. Settle down.
Settle down. You know how it is on launch day. I got up super early this morning. I've been drinking diet soda like it's going out of style. I've already smoked 2 cigars. It's a little nerve-wracking.
2 cigars? Holy shit. You're out of control, man.
I always smoke one right when we go live, Typically, like before we had the team in place, it would literally be Nick and I up at 2, 3 in the morning in Maui. We'd be in either at my home office or at his home office. Then when we were, those are the first ones. And then we'd stay in our home office and I'd be pacing outside, smoking a cigar. We're talking about the launch, trying to get everything ready. Woo. The good old days.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah. Now Cameron does most of the pacing and the worrying. And
I don't know about that. I mean, I still pace and worry. I don't know. There's a lot of stress going on during these times. And
2 cigars.
2 cigars. That's the metric.
Yeah.
Well, I saw we're almost at, I think, close to 500 units already, which is out of control, right? I saw that Patty already picked up her copy this morning. Who else picked up their copy? If you could let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I saw we already got somebody went onto our Boast thing too and left a really nice review of it and said Jason's training was awesome. Dorn was talking about how great Jason's training was and all that stuff, and Richie. And so, really awesome to see. I saw we were number 1 on the Warrior Plus leaderboard within 45 minutes, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see who all's on here. Oh, yeah, and we have a lot of today is good too, because on the live today are quite a few of behind-the-scenes people from our team here at Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires. Some of our ambassadors. I see Nick Luisi's on here, who runs a lot of the stuff in the background at Remote Millionaires. I know, I think Kunal's on here, Phil's on here. everybody. Hope, Maddie. I think they're all watching the live show today.
Yeah. Jacqueline's here too. Yep. Frank, Teresa, James, a bunch of the
I see Bill, Richie,
Chris,
James, Juris. Yeah. A lot of familiar faces. Teresa, Doug Page. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Well,
we'll make sure to bring some value. Look at this. Let's start with this real quick, Tom. Bill's asking, I'd like to hear why selling websites is a good business. Still super competitive to me. Man. Bill, we got to talk about this, brother. We got to talk about this. This is a great question. But you know what I like about websites? Some people don't like websites. Well, I like what we're doing because it's very little setup, very little work, right? We have these pre-built templates and themes that work really well. Lots of social proof around what we were doing. In the beginning of the year, we implemented this strategy. And if you go to that sales page, Professional Service Payday sales page, all of those reviews and testimonials are from people in this community getting clients using this method or a variation of this method. And the reason that so many people can use this method ongoing is because websites are something that need to be fixed and repaired over and over and over again. Websites 5 years ago are outdated. All of those people that thought they had a great, awesome website, well, guess what? They need a new one. They need updates. Those people are brand new prospects for you and your agency right now. They're perishable, right? And so a lot of people just get something set up. Years later, their competition comes in, sets an even newer one up, starts to overtake them in their ranking or their ability to bring in new clients or conversions or sales in their business. And now it becomes a situation where they need to come back in and innovate how they look online. So websites are a good business to us because sure, it can be competitive. You just need to know how to do this strategically so that it isn't competitive, and the competition is not nearly as fierce as you think. It's because of how much opportunity is out there and more every day.
Yeah. And I think there's a couple of other things about it as well. Number one, an amazing stat to me is, and I haven't looked at this recently, but the last time I checked, like even now today, there's still like 30-something% of businesses that don't have a freaking website in 2023. Like that is a huge number, and when you think like, oh, well, that can't be, like everybody's got one. Like that's one thing. The other thing about it too is like the competitiveness can also be an advantage because I don't know, this is just from my direct experience in doing websites. What people really want is someone local to them that they can turn to and trust to help them with this thing that they do not understand. Right? And all these companies that are calling people from all over the US and hitting them up and they're not in the area, like they are actually at a disadvantage. They are not at an advantage. They're actually at a disadvantage if you're someone in your local area that can become the website guy, the guy that knows websites, the person that knows that stuff, right? Like it's amazing. It can actually work to your advantage. I used to tell clients all the time, like, man, I'm right here. When somebody calls you about something with marketing online, like just send them to me. I'll talk to them for you. And if it's good, I'll come to you and tell you about it. Like you wouldn't believe how many people took me up on that. Like I had people trying to sell these people coming to me, and then I would go back. If it was good, I'd be like, hey, this is something you should probably do, but I can do it better than that. This person can do it, or I can, that type of a thing. Yeah. So that's one. But the other really great points, Bill, about websites are twofold. One is we talk about this a lot in Offline Sharks in our trainings. So, there's three things here at play. One is our strategy always of leading with a foot in the door to build a relationship and get going. Look at that. 5K to stick on site.
Bill, could you imagine if that mindset really stopped this person? I don't know who this is from prospecting, or even Tom. We landed an $8,000 website deal this week.
Yeah. Well, so let me finish my thought here and then I'll come back to that. So foot in the door, strategy, right? We're big on those, getting in, building a relationship. Pre-built sites are great for that. Websites are great because especially if you're new and you don't have any proof behind you, these pre-built sites are like instant authority. Like no one asks you like, well, who else have you worked for? Because they see exactly what they're buying. It's already done. It's already finished. You don't have to like try to sell them on what you can do. They can see what you did. Websites, it's common to run into people that need help with their websites. We run into so many people that are like, oh yeah, I hired somebody to build a website for me and they went dark, or they built it for me and now I can't get a hold of them. Like I've been needing somebody that can help me do things, right? That's another part of it. And then finally, another part of it is it's an activity-based service, right? Which is a little easier to handle client expectations and sell because a person is paying you for the thing, right? Like it's not, I lost your video there, Nick. It's not based on results, right? It's not based on once you build the site, how many people come there. It's just building the site is the thing. So all of those things work to your advantage. And, you know, to the idea that, you know, isn't it super competitive and isn't the market crowded? Like, man, what isn't these days? Like the dream of the untapped service that's going to make you a bunch of money does not exist anymore. If there is a, oh, Jason, I lost you too. If there is a service, or if there is a, oh, I see Jason's come back. If there is a service or something that people can generate income from, it is going to be semi-competitive, right? Like there's just too much information. Like people are just on it more these days. Like it's going to be out there. So you just have to forget that. You're in fact, if you find a niche or a market and people are not like aggressively promoting to it, you want to stay away from it because that usually means there's no money there. Like having a competitive market is a good sign. It is not a bad sign. That means there's money there and a lot of it. Otherwise, people wouldn't be targeting it, right? So, and then too, finally, what I was thinking about this the other day, because somebody brought this up too about the competitiveness just of the agency model in general. And I thought, well, imagine this. What if, so a book I've been reading lately is by a guy named Jack Carr. Okay. He's a brand new author. The first book he wrote became a bestseller, international bestseller. What if that guy walked into a Barnes and Noble and was like, oh man, look at all these books, right? Like, I'm not going to write a book. Like, what the heck can I do? I mean, I'm just like he was in the military, like just got out of 20 years service. Like, what if he just walked in there and was like, look at all these books? Like, I can't, like, no, and an interesting thing I got from that book, that's actually where I got the thing about, he said it about writers, but I think it applies to anybody trying to build a business, any type of business, even an agency. The thing he said in the book was the only difference between a published author and a non-published author is the published author never quit. And so I changed that around a couple live shows ago. And I was like, the only difference between an agency owner with a client and an agency owner that doesn't have a client is the agency owner with a client never quit.
I like
they
that.
Just never quit.
Well said.
They just kept going. So, I mean, I hope that answers the question, Bill. And, the big thing though is like, look, again, if there's a lot of people targeting something, that usually means there's a reason for that. And you want to be involved in that. You know what I mean? It's not a sign of like, oh, I should stay away, because you're not going to find that hidden. I mean, maybe you luck into one, but for the most part, I haven't seen them. Right. I mean, they're everywhere. You just got to keep moving forward. What do you want to do first?
I don't know. I'll leave it up to you.
Why don't we do some shout outs and then we'll do our member of the week and then we'll bring Jason out. How's that sound, everybody?
Okay. All right.
Good.
Sounds good.
And if you have questions, please put them in the chat so we can talk about them. Look, we got over 100 people on here. This is awesome. We will drop a link for Professional Services Payday towards the end. So, if you haven't seen it yet, you can go check it out, all that stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about it too. So let me share my screen here. And
somebody's asking about, Bill, it's Bill again. Bill, yes, you can use that tool to find websites.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do some shout outs. I'm going to take this one off. I don't know who that was with the 5K this week, but shout out to them. That's
I think
awesome.
it's Cody Weaver. I saw it in the chat. Cody, congrats, Cody.
Cody Weaver. Awesome. Cody Weaver. Got him. All right. Thank you, Shishan, for updating the slide. I saw that it was fixed. That's awesome. And I got to find, there's a name on here of someone. I want to make sure get the name right. Okay. So first up, this is Michael Marquez, got his very first and second win this week. So one right after the other. This is great. He met his first client in the bathroom.
I saw that.
County clerk's office after registering his business. That beats my meeting a client in the bank line. That beats that. Google Business Profile Services, $150 a month to start. Then he sold a landscaping website to an acquaintance, $1,299. Then sweetened the deal with Google Business Profile Setup and Management for 60 days as a bonus. Michael, that is an awesome structure to that deal. Hey, here's the website. Let me throw this thing in as a bonus to close the deal and seal the win. That's really great. And I'm not sure if Michael's using it, but we do have a pre-built landscaping website that was part of another course release. So if you're using that, fulfillment will be pretty straightforward, and that's a pretty good profit margin. Mm-hmm. Marvin Drobes got an inbound lead from his Google Business Profile. Nice. Landscaping business, bought a website plus 3 years of hosting, $1,000 down plus $30 a month. He stacked on Google Business Profile Setup at $249 plus $350 a month maintenance for 12 months. And that's a solid deal right there.
Yeah, it is.
And then he sold a pre-ranked. Here's another strategy. We'll throw another strategy at you. Home services jackpot site to another landscaping company. So he's using our pre-built landscaping theme. And basically what he did here was he put the website up himself, and then he did a little SEO to it so that it was showing up in Google. And he was able to just sell that site because it was already ranking to a landscaping company, $1,000 plus hosting, $59 a month. Client is onboarded for Google Ads starting in March. And that, Bill, these are two great examples of another advantage that we, from our own experience, found in websites, and why we stick with them. We have stuck with them since the beginning and continue to stick with them. And that is, websites really do give you an amazing ability to stack on additional services, right? That's why selling it as a foot in the door for, a low or a good price can be very profitable, because, once somebody has a website, they want to know how to get it noticed. How can I get people to it? How can I get it found? And so it's a natural progression into things like Google Business Profile, Google Ads, SEO. Those probably, Nick and I were just talking about this yesterday, right? Those are the three core fundamental services for us: websites, SEO, Google Ads, right? Running Google Ads for clients. So these first two wins are stellar examples of that process in action. So excellent work to both of you. Next shout out goes to Ben Denny. Closed a lawn care client, referral from another client on a website and basic logo design, $346.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Landscaping, lawn care. Seems
a
like
lot of landscaping wins on this one, right? Oliver Leka closed a couple of deals. He sold a simple website design for $1,620. On-page SEO, $540. And let's see, he did 200. That's 200 euros a month for 12 months. So $2,595.
Nice. Nice lifetime value
for a 12-month SEO. So another great win. And look, again, right? Look at the stacking. Look at the stacking. Simple website, not big money, then move them into SEO and getting some recurring revenue built in there. A strategy we talk about, by the way, in professional services.
Not only do we talk about it, we live about it. Like that is our model. That is our model. We do not want to be a web design agency. We build websites to get our foot in the door so that we can sell subscription services, just like these shout outs, just like the people in our community.
Yep. Yes. We do not, we don't teach anything we don't do. Right. So we do this stuff that we're teaching you. Bill Stanley shared two new wins: project management contracts for $1,500 and another for $3,000.
Nice, Bill. Dollar Bill in the house.
Damien Valencia sold a new landscape. Look, there's another landscaping website, $600.
Nice job. Nice job, Damien. He almost looks like Damien Zamora a little bit.
Yeah. He does look like Michael. Yeah. EG Buzz, new video marketing client for a YouTube monetization offer, $750 a month for 4 months. That's awesome. Jill Ashton, who's a Remote Millionaires member, sold a website for $2,995 US, safety equipment on roofs, etc. A home services for $722 and a 2-page website for $485.
Nice, Jill.
All solid wins.
Man, I'm so stoked. We got Jill. We just got Jill, our outsourcing team, for her to start using kind of a test right now, right?
Yep.
To deploy our team to do all of her fulfillment there. So Jill is crushing it. Looking forward to seeing what she's doing.
Yeah, and Jill's a really great example too of consistency and just sticking to it. Like, I mean, she's had ups and downs in her agency and all kinds of, like anybody, like life happens to us, right? She's had all, not just in the business, but life stuff. And man, she is just stuck with it. And when she hasn't been able to stuck with it, she's regathered and she's just kept moving forward. So it's been really awesome to watch. Real inspiration, Jill. So good work. And Jill is in the UK. And sold her first website. So 1,500 euros plus 180 euros for 1 year of hosting. That's $1,795. Our man Cody Weaver shared some recent wins to motivate others. A tree service, $700 a month for Google Ads. Mattress company website, $2,400. An software as service site for $1,850 a month. Property management SEO audit with Google Ads, $575 a month. Storage units, Google Ads with Google Business Profile Management, $1,300 a month. Staffing company, PPC, which is Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and Google Business Profile Management, $1,500 a month. A vet clinic for around $700 a month. Veterinarian, that's one of the pre-built websites that we have inside Professional Services Payday. And a mechanic shop, around $400 a month. So awesome work, Cody.
Out of control. This is, by the way, for all of you that are, I know we probably have a few new people here. These are all wins from this past week.
Yeah.
Just this past week. I mean, I think Jill had some wins that she didn't share about. So she just dropped a whole bunch of them in the chat, like some recent wins I haven't shared. So, but we were just notified about all this week in this group. So just this week. So imagine that, like being part of a community where people are actually getting traction like this. It's a pretty powerful thing.
Yeah. Our friend Scott Meisner, who's also in Remote Millionaires, landed a 10-page, $2,500 HVAC website along with 10K postcard mailing. And I think he's looking to add some Google Ads onto that. He's talking to him about it. Afik followed up a lead gen offer to a local business, but they decided to do it themselves. Afik pivoted to offering consulting services to review the ad results and close them at $114 US. Afik, that's awesome. Man, what a way to take somebody that's like no and turn them into a win, right?
Right.
Like, just don't give up. He's like, oh, well, how about I just consult with you and help you out with that? That's awesome. Yeah. And then our...
hey, that's me.
Oh, I see what Shushan was telling me. I was like, I thought it was the name, but it's not. So Afik was... So Shushan was telling me that this RM is... so Afik is in Malaysia. So this is Malaysian currency. And so that's how much it is in Malaysian currencies, but it's $114 US. So that's gotcha. Gotcha, Shushan. Thank you for helping me out.
Nice. Look at that. Strategy working in other countries. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. And then our fearless agency owner, Nick Ponte, new custom website deal, $8,000, 2/3 deposit received. $3,000 a month SEO client plus a CPA from last week with the 450 audit deal signed on for SEO $1,000 a month. So CPA, that's another pre-built website theme we have inside Professional Services Payday. And this was the one, I think you talked about this last week, right? You did an audit for them and now they signed up for $1,000 a month.
Yeah. And somebody actually was asking, it's Rick. Rick saying, do you guys have some kind of transition process in which you transition clients from pre-built sites to something custom built for a lot more money? So great question, Rick. Good to see you here, by the way. So that CPA from last week, This is a quick example. Last week, we sold a website audit to a CPA. So similar to like selling somebody a new website that needs a website, $450, not a lot of money, just to get our foot in the door. We created the audit. We went through the website, and I had my new account coordinator at the agency, who's less than 2 weeks into working with us, put together this audit, following our template and our strategy. He put together the audit. We got on a Zoom call with the client. By the time we got through that Zoom call, the client was like basically begging us, wouldn't let us leave the call without signing him up to a $1,000 a month SEO deal to fix everything on the audit, which is exactly why we do that, right? We start out with the audit. We point out all the problems. We pack it with value. We show them we know what we're doing. We're experts. We know how we can help them. But they're not going to want to make those changes. They're like, holy crap, this is a lot of work. Do you guys do anything where you could help us with this? Well, I'm glad you asked, Jim. It just so happens that we do. And so that case study, everybody, recorded the Zoom call. We have the audit, and we actually decided to bundle that up and make that the order bump on the front end product of Professional Services Payday. So like right now, you can get that entire case study from that just transpired over the last 2 weeks for, I don't know, how much is it? $30 or something like that? Probably less than that.
It's in there.
But you can get that as the order bump in the front end product, where you take somebody that purchases a low ticket.
I think it's $17.
Somebody that buys something, a foot in the door strategy, a website, an audit, whatever, and then you sell them a recurring service. So yeah, I mean, it's in there. It's a real world case study. You get the Zoom call, you hear the questions, you hear the answers, you hear the objections, you hear how we drop the price, you even get the audit. Like, man, you're not going to get information like that anywhere else. And it's fresh, right? Like over the last 2 weeks, we picked that stuff up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we are going to talk about the new product. We're going to bring Jason out here in a minute. We just got a couple more things to wrap up.
Sorry, Jason. I know we're taking a while, man.
Yeah, he's patiently waiting back there. So look, for those of you keeping track, combined total of $45,517 for the week of February 12th through February 17th. I mean, that's 5 days. Grand total since the start of 2023, $236,732. Just a reminder, last year in 2022, this group reported, 1.6 million. We set our goal for 3 million this year. So if you're out there taking action and getting wins, make sure you share them in the group so we can add that to the track. That's our goal this year, 3 million for our members. So excellent work, everybody. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That's awesome. And then I want to do one more thing, and then we're going to bring Jason out. So this thing real quick, I want to do our member of the week. And I'm really excited to do this member of the week because if you've been on our live shows consistently for any length of time, you have seen this person over the past, I don't know if it's been quite a year yet, but like maybe 8 to 9 months, sharing wins. They started with zero recurring revenue. I think that maybe they had like one-off client.
One foot in the door sale.
Yeah, 1 foot in the door sale, zero recurring revenue. And they've been sharing their wins for a while, and they have been amazing wins. And they joined Remote Millionaires, I don't know, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that. And just started implementing what we teach in there. Pretty soon it was like, had one recurring a month client. Then it was another, then another. Then pretty soon they were at 5,000 a month recurring income. And then 10. Anyway, they built their agency up to over 6 figures per year in recurring revenue. And what is exciting about this is he built the agency up and then he was like, you know what? I'm just going to sell it. So he just sold the agency a week ago for a big enough payday that he has retired. So he just turned 60, right? So he just turned 60, sold the agency, and now he's retired. And our member of the week, that's right, it's Mr. Jeffrey Tresdell. Man, it was really awesome to see that post inside Remote Millionaires. JT, congratulations on being retired. I mean, it's an amazing story. And I talked to JT for you other RM members because I think JT would be a great resource for other people that are looking to do similar things. So I think JT is going to be coming on to help us in RM as a success coach and walk others through how he's doing that and help out. So, man, JT, amazing work. You deserve it, buddy. You put in all the hard work. And we're also going to send you one of these shark treasure chests. The team will reach out to you to get your address and everything. But congratulations. That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, congrats, JT. If everybody could tag JT in the comments and, give him a huge shout out. I mean, not only did he make 6 figures in his business in less than a year, but then he actually sold it, which is such a power move. I mean,
I know. He's like, yep, I'll just sell it.
And he can probably do it again, right? Like, I'm sure he has a non-compete for a little bit, but he knows those skills. He has those skills. He's developed those things, and those are your tools. You can keep doing that. So
awesome. Well, let's bring our guest out here. We'll get you in there. Jason Moran, how's it going, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Back there.
Doing good. It's
Nice.
good to see you, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you guys too.
Yeah, incredible work on the training and all that stuff, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Well, Nick, first, Jason, maybe you can tell people on the live just a little bit about yourself and your history. Then we can talk a little bit how you sort of came into our orbit, and we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing, and then we'll take some questions. So if you guys have any questions about agency stuff, about the new course, by the way, I'm going to put the link up here. And after Jason does his intro, we will go through the new course. I'll show you guys what it is and all that stuff, and then we'll do some questions.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I got my start in the agency space several years ago, and it's kind of an interesting story. I won't bore you guys with all the details, but basically it kind of started out with a local wine bar. A buddy and I jumped in together, ended up opening up a wine bar. My partner wasn't very technically inclined, and I knew just enough. I'd used social media personally and that sort of thing, kind of hacked together our first website for the bar, and started running that, and really kind of fell in love with this digital space, online media, social media, that sort of thing. And when it was time for me to kind of exit that partnership, I knew I kind of had this idea in the back of my head that I was going to stick with digital marketing. And so I kind of reached out to all my contacts within the wine and spirit and restaurant world, and quickly amassed a nice little client base for myself, enough to be able to jump and make that move. And over the course of a few years, just really kind of fell in love again with this space and marketing. And like everybody, I've had my ups, I've had my downs. I've been through the trenches, done everything from just basic social media posting, like I said, building websites, that sort of thing. Also, software development. I got my hands in that and did a little stuff there, but really kind of found my niche in lead generation for local businesses. And that's what I became really passionate about. And I absolutely love local business. My dad's a dentist. And so I had a lot of experience in the dental world early on, built a nice little dental agency, went all over the country, spoke at different seminars and things like that. But I had a good time doing that. And, my dad, I guess this is kind of, I'll kind of pivot a little bit, but my dad really wanted me to be a dentist. And I never had any interest in becoming a dentist, poking around people's mouths and that sort of thing. But I think he was happy that I kind of settled in and at least helped him in the dental space in the marketing arena. So he was pretty excited about that. But man, that's pretty much my story. Again, kind of fell in love with this passion of generating leads for local businesses, building different systems, automations, things like that in order to help these companies. And that's me, man. That's my story.
That's awesome. And you have, I think you told me the other day, you have like around 40 clients in your personal agency?
Yeah,
right now? I mean, exactly. So it's not like a small, we're not talking like a small operation. Like it's a pretty good agency, and you've been able to systematize that pretty well because you're able to kind of step away and do these things that you like and all that stuff. So that was one thing, that appealed to us when we started talking about coming onto the Remote Millionaires team, was like, we really want people to understand that, like, the reason that Nick and I are able to do the things that we do is not because it's Nick and I, right? Like, I know a lot of people sometimes look at us and they think, well, of course you guys can do all that stuff. But really, it's about the systems and the processes. And as long as you follow the systems and the processes, you can do it, right? I mean, you have to put in the work, obviously, that kind of stuff. But and you're a great example of that as well. And you've been able to come into RM and really help out a lot of people there. Jason is an expert at Go High Level, which is the software we use in the agency. So he does a lot of hands-on help with people in RM about using Go High Level and getting things set up and
us included.
Yeah, us
our
included.
agency
Yep,
included.
us included.
For sure. I just sent Jason a message last night saying like, man, we need more consulting. Yeah.
Yep. And so we're like, hey man, why don't you come in and we really liked the, the feedback we get from the members and, just Jason's overall presence really great. So we were like, hey man, how about we bring in and we'll record some videos and do some courses and things like that. So this was our first run at that. It went fantastic, by the way. Like, this is awesome. I don't know why that's
what I like about you, Jason, is you're like us. You're like a full stack marketer. You know how to do a little bit of everything, which is, it's not a requirement for everybody, but like, it's just kind of what happens, right? You end up writing a little bit of content for your website. You end up building or putting together somewhat of a theme for a website. You end up doing a couple sales. You end up maybe making a couple graphics, just enough to like be dangerous and outsource, And so obviously, you can get to expert level and all these different things. And you are, you have a high skill set in a lot of these things, which is obviously super valuable to anybody that gets a chance to interact with you and work with you. Like many of our RM members, and I've already seen some of them in the comments talking about, how awesome and helpful you have been to them. And so, yeah, that's also what's really impressed me. Just like the kind of like, you're like a Swiss Army knife, right? In the world of marketing. And so, yeah, that's always a good, powerful thing to be able to add to the community. So yeah, we're grateful for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, why don't we take a minute? Let's talk a little bit about the course. Cause I know some people are asking about that. And then again, if you have questions for us or for Jason about anything local marketing relating, pop them in the comments and we'll Nick, keep an eye out for those, scroll for them, whatever. Let me go to, I should have already pulled this up, but here we go. I want to show you guys, I'm just going to go to the main page. So there's a link at the bottom of the screen that will take you here and show you guys a couple of things. So this is the course, Professional Services Payday, right? And a couple of things. Number one, whenever we put out a new course, we do a 4-day launch cycle. So the price of the course, just so you know, it goes up every day. So today is the absolute lowest price you can get it at. You can see we got 11 hours on that. So you can see that. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what's in here. So, we've talked a little bit about the strategy, right?
Well, look at all that social proof too, Tom. Like the reason this whole thing came about, everybody, is we tested this out extensively amongst ourselves. But then if you guys remember Clients for Christmas Challenge, so many of you participated and made sales using this model, and we identified some industries that are a little more responsive than others. But all that social proof on the page, look, Cody's there, is all from you guys, from other people implementing this strategy. I mean, I'm on there too, or our team is on there too, but we're probably the minority. Sorry, Tom, I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah. Well, you'll be able to see all that stuff. I wanted to here's some more here. I wanted to really talk about kind of like what it is that you're getting inside. I love this dog. That cracks me. I don't know why we didn't have Kevin or Patrick there, but that dog is great. Just sort of kind of what you get inside the course. So these are in the main front end of the course, you get 3 pre-built websites in the professional services niche. So, there's some things in here we'll talk about in a second about, because some of you might wonder, well, what is different between, we have some pre-built websites that target the home services niche, but when you're targeting the professional services niche, it's a little bit of a different animal, right? Like in the home services niche, you do find a lot of people that don't have websites. In professional services, not as much. In home services, you're able to usually directly talk to the business owner. With professional services, not as much. So we kind of address that in the training, and we'll talk about the training itself here in a second. But I just want to show you the site. So in the main front end product, you get accountant, chiropractor, and attorney, and you can click on any of these links here, and you can go and take a look at these sites. So I'll just show you one here. I mean, these are great looking sites, and they come with all the professionally written content. You get licensed images, everything, all of this stuff is all filled out, right? So they're complete. You can set these things up. So this is the chiropractor one, so you can see that. But I mean, these things look great. They look modern. They run effectively, all that stuff. So you can check those out. And then if you take the upgrade, we do have an upgrade, and you get 6 additional pre-built websites, all with the same stuff, all with the professionally written content, all with licensed images, all with that stuff. You get a dentist, financial advisor, med spa, real estate agent, tutor, and veterinarian. And you can see these are really quick to set up. We got some great videos in there. You can set them up in under 8 minutes. They're WordPress based. They're just great looking sites. So that's part of it. There's some bonuses and things you can check out here too. But so the sites themselves, worth the price of the course, right? We put a lot of work, money, time, development into these things. The team did amazing on them. So, I mean, just that alone is worth it. But, you know, whenever we put out a course or we do something, we always like to give you everything you need to make this work, right? And we realize like, oh, well, when you're targeting professional services businesses, there's gonna be some differences in how you approach them and how you prospect. So we put together some modules of training. Module one kind of just goes over, you know, all the stuff about the strategy, the service. We give, you know, why we think it's an advantage, the credibility, the authority. We talk about pricing strategies to close deals, scaling, doing add-ons, things like that. Module 2 is all about the prospecting side of things, right? We give you an outreach email. We talk about picking up the phone, which nobody likes to do, but can be the fastest way to money. We talk about using local business groups, networking, that type of stuff. There's some spreadsheets, templates. We give you a bonus phone script. All that stuff is included, so you don't have to figure it out. We just give it to you. And then what I think is something that a lot of people struggle with, and like I said, in professional services, you know, you're not always going to talk to the owner of the business. There's going to be a gatekeeper most of the time. And that applies to a lot of businesses you reach out to. So we put together a special training called Getting Past the Gatekeeper. And I think this part of the training is like super valuable, because if you've ever struggled with trying to get past the gatekeeper, we give you a really simple and straightforward way to actually bring the gatekeeper to your side and help them help you get through. Plus there's a quick strike strategy. And then we've got some, a tip sheet with some bonus tips on doing all that. Then we go through everything about the websites, how to set, like if you need to purchase a domain, if you want to do hosting, all of that stuff, all in-depth training, how to set everything up, and then how to set the themes up, all that stuff. I know this seems like a lot of videos, but it's pretty easy. You basically install a theme, you add the demo content, you just make a few little minor edits. So don't let this intimidate you. And especially if you're not like super familiar with WordPress or building sites, these are a great way to start to get comfortable with the terminology and how to put these types of sites together, because it is very simple and straightforward. And then we have a little bonus module on outsourcing, and then of course some other bonus stuff as well that you'll get. And again, today it's $27 for the main product. And then I can't remember. I think if you want the 6 additional sites, I want to say it's maybe $47. So, I mean, it's not expensive, but really good stuff. So, and then Nick talked about the training where you upsell the people into the recurring services. That's a little bump, I think, that's on there as well. So that's the gist of the course. And Jason does all the training videos in there, did an excellent job, all that stuff. So let's see what, so here's a good question. And this may, this could help you out. So Bill asked again, and Jason, you may be able to talk a little bit about this as well, because he said, are they rank and rent kind of sites? you can use them that way, Bill. In fact, in the shout outs, that's what one of our members did. Remember, they said they ranked a site and sold it. That's exactly what they did. They took our pre-built website, they ranked it, and then they sold it. I've done that in the past as well. So you absolutely can use these for that as well. Let me see. Nick, do you see any questions in here? Oh,
yeah. A lot of people are asking about.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
A lot of people are asking about being able to like modify the themes and whatnot. So yes, I mean, you can modify the themes. If you want to install your favorite drag and drop builder, whether it's Elementor or Divi, you can install that. And, you can add pages and create new pages using that builder. But we have 5 or so core pages on each theme that are already set up for you. And so those pages are not set up with those builders. They have another builder that's easy to use already. But if you wanted to, you could create your own homepage using your own drag and drop builder and assign that to be the homepage if you wanted. But ideally, these themes are set up so that somebody could just take them, implement them, and they're set up for you. We're not trying to spend a whole lot of time really customizing these sites. That's not really the strategy. It's really to like solve a problem for somebody that has, the not so nice website or doesn't have a site. Let's give this as a solution that's pretty inexpensive, $400, $500, $1,000. Maybe, you get a little aggressive and you've sold 5 of them and you start to raise your price. Now you're selling them for $3,000 because your confidence increases. But, try not to get caught up in too much customizations, because the idea is really to have haste in what you're doing.
Yeah, and one of the strategies that we talk about inside there too is like selling them for a setup fee and a low monthly cost. And so if you have someone that that maybe has a Wix site or a Squarespace site, where the danger with those types of sites for a business owner is really that they don't own the website, right? Like if those places you can't take that website with you. So you can come in and say, hey, look, like you can still pay me monthly for this, but like you actually own this thing. Like it's set up on your domain, you own everything, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've actually sold, I think, 3 websites over the last month for somewhere between 119 to 150 a month. Jason, do you ever sell I know you do, but what's your preference? Do you like to go for the higher ticket website up front, or do you like to go for the recurring? What's your idea on that?
Yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on each situation. I'd say my personal preference is ongoing. So like a couple scenarios. So like that previous question about rank and rent. So I love the rank and rent model. I kind of do a hybrid of that. So example is, I got a client that comes to me and says, look, I'm interested in, signing on with your services. Usually we'll sell them into some sort of a monthly ongoing package. The primary service that I offer is lead generation, along with an entire CRM system, follow-up system, lead nurturing, things like that. That's my core offer. But the way that I kind of package this is, if I get a client who's interested in that type of a package and we put that together, and we don't do any type of monthly contracts. If I get them going on, we start to work together, and usually by month 3, 9 days in, I have a pretty good idea if that client's going to stick around for the long term. And usually once that 90-day mark hits, if I feel like this guy's going to be around for a while, that's when I will turn around and invest additional resources into that client. Rent is one of the things that I deploy. So I'll go into the market, and I honestly don't even tell the client I'm doing this. I go into the market, build out a site. I've got templates for all the niches that I'm in. So I take one of my templated sites, exactly what we're talking about here, deploy that template, get that template ranking, and that kind of subsidizes and adds to the lead volume that we're getting through all the paid advertising that we're doing. And then now what happens is, if that client ends up leaving me, 12 months later, 18 months later, I don't really care, because now I've already invested. I've put the resources in. I've got that site, it's ranking. And so now I can just go and turn around and sell that to a competitor. So that's kind of the model that I do there.
That's pretty awesome. So are you, I mean, you're, it sounds like for the most part, you're pretty much focused on always trying to get the recurring aspect.
Yeah. Recurring is number one. Like I'm always focused on, like what we're offering here in Professional Services Payday is the perfect foot in the door. Exactly what Tom and Nick have been talking about. It's great. You can take these sites, they're templated, they're ready to go. They're completely done for you. All the content's there. The images are there. They're beautiful looking templates. They load fast. I mean, they're super simple to use. So we deploy one of those templates. The idea is, don't futz around with these websites and worry about design and can we move the button, 3 spaces to the left and all that craziness that clients will have us do. We say, look, we've got this. It's already ready to go. It's set up to convert. It's fast loading. The content's there. We sell them on this template idea, get that up and running as quickly as possible. So then we can then transition and pivot and get them into some sort of a monthly ongoing service.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, I mean, it's similar to like your thought process about once you get somebody to stay past the 90-day mark, then you'll invest more of your time, attention, and resources to really, because there's going to be much more of a payoff because of the long-term relationship that you have there once they get past it. The idea is like, you got to keep your attention focused on where you're going to get the most reward, and so, making a logo look absolutely perfect for somebody that you're only getting $50 on is not very much reward. Making a website that looks, I have this friend who has his agency, and it seems like every time I turn around, he's built a new website for himself. Like he's always freaking, adjusting his design in the background and this and that, but he doesn't really have any clients either. And I'm like, dude, focus on getting some clients. Stop worrying about what your website looks like. I got like my first 5 clients without a website for myself. Like you can point to these example websites that we've set up for you, anybody that are watching this, and those are your portfolio. That's where, like Tom mentioned, that's where you hack your authority in that you're like, look, I've already got this website. I've already got some of these set up. You don't have a site or yours is not good. Let me give you this one, and try to stay away from, I can make you this one and we can add, the bells and the whistles and all the things, and we can make a video at the top. Like stay away from that, stay away from that.
Yeah, I guess it all kind of, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jason.
Tom.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, it all just kind of depends on the type of agency that you ultimately want to run, right? If web design is the agency you're trying to build, then maybe that model makes sense. For us, what we teach here and what I do behind the scenes, that's just not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in building a strictly web design based agency. I'm really focused on other things and other types of services. And so, web design happens to be a part of the agency, just kind of by default, because everybody needs a site, right? Everybody needs a site. I mean, Tom was talking about that earlier, and one point that I'd love to make on that was just that, every year, so even though there are all these businesses that are in existence right now that have websites, or maybe a portion of them don't have sites, there are tens of thousands of new businesses started each and every year that do need sites. So like the opportunity for websites is endless, and everybody knows they need one. So like that's always kind of a real easy foot in the door strategy, especially when you have a system like this that you can deploy really quickly, get up and running, and you can kind of showcase your work instantly with these done for you sites. And again, use that as that foot in the door to then upsell and get them into one of these recurring services.
Yeah. And what's interesting about the professional services niche in particular is like, if you come across a person that had a website built a few years ago and it's not looking good anymore and they need to get it redesigned, like one of the things you can do is be like, do you mind me asking, like, how much did you pay for that site? Guarantee it's going to be a hefty amount, right? And you're like, man, you paid $5,000 for that and it's 2 years later, it needs to be updated. Like, look, I know, that's probably like a lot of custom stuff, and like we can do a custom site, I mean, those usually run between $5,000 and $8,000, but like, what if I showed you a site, like take a look at this site. Like, do you like this? Like, if you could use this and I could just make some minor changes to it, like I could give you this site for $1,500, right? And like, I mean, that's a pretty solid sales offer and argument, right? So that's another thing. And that's usually how I would do these, is like, I always lead with the like, hey, look, I can build you a custom site for, you know, at the agency, right? They start at $8,000, they go up from there. But like, if you're okay with this site, like, take a look at this. This is one I've already built. It's in your niche. I can do some minor things to it, and we can do that for $1,500. Like, that's a really good one. So I saw somebody asked about that. So that's one of the ways I would position that. One thing too, I wanted to answer Patty's question about hosting, because I know a lot of people in our community like to charge for hosting. We saw that in the wins, people charging, you know, $50, you know, I think somebody had $39 a month for hosting and things like that. What's a good price to charge? Patty, it's so relative to like what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you can build up the value, you can charge more. So like, what are you doing as part of the maintenance thing? You know, like if you want to get, you know, 50 or 60 or $100 a month, it's just a matter of stacking those things in. Like, look, we're going to, you know, we'll give you 4 edits a month. We'll back up the site every week, right? Like, there's a difference between a backup once a month and backing a site up once a week, or backing a site up every day, right? So those are things that can influence what you're charging and the perceived value to the client. So you might want to think about that stuff and see what type of a thing you want to put in, and then maybe just look around, maybe even ask in the Facebook group what other people's charge for a similar thing. It's just hard to say that without knowing what you're doing in there. And then I saw somebody else too was asking about, they were talking about telling the client about hosting, and they weren't sure if they would be comfortable walking them through that. Look, once you go through the training inside Professional Services Payday, you will be comfortable telling them how to do that, because we have videos on buying the domain name, buying the hosting. That's why I say, like, if you're somebody who's just looking to learn the basic skills, just getting this course and setting one of these sites up can be like a little mini class on the basics of web design, because there are a few really good structural things that we teach you in this course. Because again, people were asking about, well, like editing the themes and making changes. Like, so one of the basics of good web development, especially if you're dealing with WordPress, is that you have a child theme and a parent theme. And we include that in this course, right? With these sites, we give you both. We show you how to set both of them up, explain what they're for. So like, we're teaching you good web design development practices from the get-go. And yes, it's basic. Like, you're not going to be able to go out and build a custom site, but you are going to be able to talk intelligently with somebody about a website, right? You're going to know what the domain name is. You're going to know what hosting is. You're going to know what DNS is. You're going to know what WordPress is. You're going to understand that stuff. So one of the ways we found the best for learning that stuff is doing it, right? Doing it for ourselves and then eventually doing it for clients. So that can be a good transition for you.
Let's see.
Somebody said, I know that like when it comes to like setting up the sites, it looks like a lot of videos, but most of the videos are just a few minutes long. Like, we opted for creating short, to the point videos that just show you what to do versus making one big long video that you have to wade through. So a lot of times when you see things that are like, oh, you know, installing the theme, there may be several videos there, but really each one is not very long, you know, a minute or two. So if you just follow we wanted to make it as easy as possible to just follow the steps. So if you're looking at that and you're thinking, oh, that looks complicated, it's really not. You just have to follow the steps that we lay out. So
someone's asking if they can add the translation plugin to the site so that they can start showing it to their finished prospects. Yes, you can. Somebody also asked if the sites are ADA compliant. They're not ADA compliant in the sense, like, you know, where you have people going like that are out there that are looking at the list of 3,000 ADA compliant technicalities, and they're trying to scare you into having to do that. But you can install a plugin that will make them compliant. And yes, they're built for mobile. They have a good base level of the structure in terms of SEO built into them, because that's something that we need in our agency. So of course, that is what we implement for these themes, is we're using them for ourselves and for you. Somebody says they set up a demo. Oh, I think I know who this is. Set up a demo in 0 minutes.
Wow.
Somebody says, does this program work if you take step-by-step how to do this, or are there things that would not be expected, or how to, man, like this process, like for at the beginning of the month, we did a clients for Christmas challenge, and we had a very similar process. And if you're a part of this Facebook group, search the hashtag win, and you'll find people that just follow the process. And it's overwhelming how much people have success when they just do that. And it's also overwhelming when you see people that get caught getting in their own way, trying to figure out like things that don't even matter. Like JT, the guy that started a 6-figure agency in less than a year and working with us and now has sold it, his exact response was, I joined, you said to do this, I did that. You said to do this next, I did that. I followed the process from the beginning to the end exactly how you said to do it. Like that was his feedback. We have it. I mean, he said it multiple times on the Remote Millionaires podcast and video testimonials. And yeah. So try not to get caught in your own way. Like trust the process. What we're doing, it works. We have lots of proof that it works. A lot of it is in this group. You can see for yourself. If you, for some reason, are following the process and you're like, man, I don't know if this works, just go look at the hashtag.
Yeah, or ask a question in the Facebook so we can clarify it for you. And by the way, whoever this is, if we don't we expect people that come to these courses that we put out to not have even basic knowledge. So we cover everything, right? Like I know a lot of people will put out a course. They won't show you how to get a domain name. They won't show you how to set up posting because they think, oh, you should know that. Like we just assume you don't know it. And
Right.
So we walk you through all that stuff. So it should be complete, like Nick said, if you just follow the steps and walk through the process. But yeah, JT was a great example of that, right? Because that's exactly what he did. Like he just started and was going through doing one thing next. So awesome.
And so is Teresa here, right? She's making a verbal commitment right now. I'm going to follow the process to the letter. And I really love to see that, Teresa. I'm sure we will see some, big things from you in our Facebook group. And if there's anybody else out there right now that is maybe feeling like you really want to make this work, one of the best ways to really get that accountability built in is by using this group, using this live stream. If you want to make this work, we're telling you that you can follow this process to the letter and you will get some traction. So maybe you need to make that verbal commitment right now amongst your peers, amongst us, other agency owners right now on this stream. You're going to follow the process to the letter, Teresa. I admire that. I have a feeling you're probably going to do that now that you've let everybody else know that you're going to do that. It's much more difficult to not follow that now that you've already let us all know. We're going to hold you accountable. I'm going to come to the group tomorrow and I'm going to tag you and I'm going to say, how's it going, Teresa? You need any help with anything? Or have you had any responses? That's the amazing power of what we have here. So good for you for recognizing that and actually, taking making a line in the sand to do that right now. And I highly recommend anybody else that might be feeling that way, like you need to make this work, or this sounds interesting to you and you haven't even bought the product yet, you should do that. Make that commitment now to following this strategy, because it does work.
Yeah, a couple of other questions I saw there that I want to address too, and that is, where did it go? Somebody asked about if there's an agency website. So not in this bundle. We do have a done-for-you agency website. If you are a Shark Alliance Plus or a Shark Alliance Elite member, there is a done-for-you agency website in there.
And there is a special on Shark Alliance in the funnel of it.
Yeah, there is a $1 trial too. You can get in for $1. So if you don't have an agency website, just take the $1 trial. You'll see it in there. Also, if you're an Elite member, yes, this course and the upgrade are in your Elite members area. If you don't see it, just log out and log back in. It may just need to refresh. That's happened to a couple people. And then I wanted to address this user here too, because he said, so I joined, I was intrigued by the mailer. I saw Dialhawk. Then I see this. Where do I start? Laugh out loud. I know sometimes you can see what people are having success with and you think, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. Here's the thing. We have a lot of great strategies. Just pick one. and stick to it. Like Nick was just saying, just pick one. If you already have the mailer program and you want to do that, pick that and just go with that, right? But just pick one and give it a real shot and a real effort. So
some people find that they can do, like, websites are really their thing, or they can see a through line in making that their thing. So if you naturally gravitate towards that topic, or maybe you are in the professional service industry at one point in your life, so you can speak the language a little more, then go after the one that you kind of are drawn to a little bit more. But everything that we do is based off of what we do. So each one of our strategies works, and just pick one.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. So look at that. Just create a list of 12 chiropractors that hit a fall on the webinar. Now that is a valuable use of your time. I'll be on here.
Nice job, Chris.
Awesome. And I don't want to get too far off track here. I will answer this question though. So HSJ, if I can talk, stands for Home Services Jackpot. So it's a similar strategy to Professional Services Payday, but it focuses on the home services niche. So like roofers, electricians, HVAC, that type of stuff. Let's see. Tony said the only website I've ever built was my AGM site by following the process. Shark Stone is always 30 point. Oh, thanks, Tony. Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. There was something else I was going to ask Jason, and now I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, my dog just thought I knocked on the door.
Intruder.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, like crazy. Well, here's a good question from Sandy, Jason. Any tips or golden nuggets about maybe that we didn't include in the course that might help people get to the decision maker? Or
That's a good question. You know what? I think the best way to answer this is, consistency and persistence. I think those two things in combination really are what is going to drive, real results here. So, in all honesty, I mean, those two things are good in any strategy that you deploy, right? So it really boils down to staying consistent, like Tom said, picking a strategy and just really going all in on that strategy and making sure that each and every day, each and every week, you're making strides, you're staying consistent, and you're making strides to actually do the necessary things, the revenue producing activities in order to really drive the needle in your business. And in our space, that means prospecting, either cold outreach. So that could take the form of cold emailing, that could be cold calling, that could be direct messaging people through Facebook or LinkedIn. There's a lot of different strategies. Direct mail, another great strategy, and or paid advertising. So inbound, right? So, but really, what it boils down to again is just that consistency. Getting up every day and devoting 1-2 hours a day, whatever you can devote each and every day, 5 days a week, in order to really move that needle in your business. And as long as you do that, you will have qualified prospects that enter into your pipeline. And the more qualified prospects that are in your pipeline, the more business you're going to sell, the more business you're going to close, and the faster you're going to grow your agency. I mean, it's really that basic. There's no real secret science to this. A lot of people try to sell you on some secret sauce, but honestly, it boils down to the basics. And as long as you get the basics right, really that's all that really matters.
That's a really good point. And the other thing that comes from doing the basics is that, the original question about the gatekeeper, what's the best method and all that, when you just be consistent and you talk to a lot of gatekeepers, especially in a particular industry, it will become very clear as to what works better than what doesn't work at all. The best way to really hone is by doing too, by developing your own voice, so you can have a script, and if you use that script on one person, it's going to be pretty binary, it's going to be pretty robotic, But if you take that one script and you say it, you deliver it 10 times, you notice that when you say the first half of it, you get this type of response. But when you say the second half of it, you get a much bigger response. And that's just for you. That's how you deliver it. Maybe you start to put the second half of the script up front to get a bigger, more rapport built on the front end. And you only find that information by actually doing, by being consistent. And so it's so true, and it's so important. And I mean, I find that with damn near everything we do, you know, like whether it's, you know, teaching somebody how to do something. Like after I've taught it to 20 people, I can now teach it way better to the 21st person, you know, because I know what pieces actually people, you know, got the most information from. I can allow the rest of the people to skip steps. So doing is the most important thing. I would totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are always looking for that magic answer, you know, that word that, I'll just give you this word and it just works, you know, and that the reality is that doesn't exist. You know, it's a combination of, you know, having a good strategy, putting the process, consistency, and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Hey, big shout out to our buddy Doug Page, who has a client meeting right now. Go get him.
Nice.
Go get him. Close that deal, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of other questions here I want to answer real quick, and I will discuss the upgrades here in a minute. Somebody asked, so we did a thing where we gave away free access to Professional Services Payday, and we sent out an email with the winners. But I just wanted to congratulate the winners here. Even we didn't have a slide for them, but the winners were Jocelyn Berg, Scott Allen, Christine Wannabe, Dave McNaughton, and Dave Rodhams. Those were the 5 winners of the Professional Services Payday access. So,
wait, did you say Chris Watanabe?
Christine
Watanabe.
Okay,
so that's probably Chris. Chris, look, she's here on the show. Chris, congrats.
Yep. Yeah. So, yep. So there was an email that went out if you missed it, but those were the 5 winners. Maybe we can post those in the group or something, Cameron or Shushan.
Congrats, everybody.
Okay, let's talk about the upgrades. So, first thing about upgrades, Nick and I are like sticklers about this. Everything you need to start to get traction is in the main product and course. Okay. So first and foremost, in the main front end product, you get 3 themes: the chiropractor, the attorney. What was it? I forget what the other one was. You get 3 pre-built websites, all the training, the templates, the checklists, everything you need. Like if you're on a budget, just get that and take action with what's in there. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Just get that and take action. The upgrades are typically either on additional topics, or if you just want to, you know, maybe get some additional materials and supercharge your results, usually is how we talk about it. So like, for instance, there is an upgrade for 6 more pre-built websites. So if you want to focus on more than just the 3 niches that you have in the front end, you can pick up the upgrade for the additional 6 niches. And there's also some sales and marketing materials in there that we pull directly from our agency. So I think there's some hot sheets and some lead magnets and blog, email sequences, things like that we've put together to use on our own agency that you can now have access to edit and use however you want. So that's, I think, the first upgrade. We do have a special price, and it's actually the lowest price we've ever offered this at, but we have a training called Ultimate Remote Team, where we show you our process for how we find our team members and how we build a team without spending any of our own money. That's in there. And then Nick said I think there is an offer for a $1 trial to the Shark Alliance in there as well.
Which is our monthly mentorship program.
Yeah, which is our monthly mentorship program. And there's so anyway, and like when you hear people that are elite members always get access to the courses we put out as part of the membership and stuff like that. So there may be something I'm missing in there, but again, just so you know, like, everything you need is in the main product. So if you're on a budget, you know, that's all you need.
Awesome. Tom, I think we got a couple other meetings here in about 10 minutes. So Jason, I want to thank you for being here, man, and give you the pass. I know you have another commitment that you need to hit too. But man, thanks so much for being here. And, everybody's going to be seeing a lot more of you. And, thanks for bringing the value. And, we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Awesome work, Jason. Excited.
Yeah.
And you guys try not to blow Jason's DM ups too much. Let the guy. He is busy.
Yeah. No, it's been fantastic. We kind of came together late August 2022, and it's just been a pleasure working alongside you guys, and had a blast creating this product. And I'm just excited to see the growth. Excited to watch and see different agency owners take this knowledge, take this course, implement the strategies, and actually see some real wins from it. So it's a pleasure to be alongside you guys in great company. I'm just very thankful.
Well, thanks, man. Awesome stuff. And I'm looking forward to the next things we're going to be doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Awesome.
Thanks,
cool.
Definitely.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Try to relax a little now that all the training videos are out of the way. Take a much needed vacation, and we'll talk to you soon.
For sure. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, man. Talk to you later. All right, Nick, I think we really need to do one more thing.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Talking no matter. We should have some winners. So what we do, for those of you that may be new, if you go into the Facebook group and you leave a good job on our Shark Shoutouts post, we pick some random people at the end and we give away some Cash App money. So our winners today are Frank the Tank Caban and James Argiro.
Frank.
Yeah. So excellent work. Excellent work.
Congrats, everybody. We had a lot of winners today with the Cash App and the courses and
oh my gosh, yeah. It's like Christmas around here.
making it rain.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, awesome. It's been an awesome live show.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Lots of great questions. I loved all the questions about the course. Again, remember the price does go up tonight at midnight. So, make sure you go jump in, get it at the lowest price right now. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to our support desk, offlinesharks.com/support. And good stuff. Stay safe out there. Practice Aloha. We will see you here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then,